Hi, good morning. It's Sunday, November 2nd, and I'm having a weird day. I mean, honestly, it's a gorgeous day in Portland. I'm looking outside at my pawpaw tree. I should be outside pruning and doing garden cleanup, but we got to fight fascism, so my yard is a little bit of a mess. This morning I was on the Book of Faces because I've decided to use it more because I reach an older Gen X and Boomer white audience that doesn't interface with my content on other platforms. So I'm using it even though I understand that it is very much a right-wing hellscape. I think I want to make a video on this because I've done some screen grabbing of what I see every time I open up Facebook in order to post something, like what is it that Facebook is recommending to me. And it's just all 100% right-wing MAGA pages that I block, get unblocked. Even though I turned off the suggest political content option in my settings, I still just get nonstop right-wing propaganda pages. And I was fiddling with my settings to make my Instagram Reels automatically reshare to Facebook. And I was going over to Facebook to see if it had worked. And the first thing that I saw was yet again another MAGA page. So I thought I had blocked that page and moved on. And then 10 minutes later, I get a notification on my phone that's like, oh, Angela's showing her true colors. She's a fascist psyop. Everybody unfollow this page now. And I was like, what is happening? I was like, what? So I opened up my phone. And apparently I had accidentally reshared a post from this MAGA page that I thought I had blocked. And the comments were like a half a dozen white dudes and one white woman that were just like, oh, I knew the whole time that she was a psyop. I knew the whole time that she must be secretly MAGA. Oh, Angela's showing her true colors. Everybody unfollow this page. Again, I think that post had been up for just a couple of minutes. And so I quickly get back into Facebook and I deleted and I make this post. Like, oh my God, y'all, I tried to block a page. Somehow I accidentally reshared one of their posts. It was not me showing my true colors. Like, you're welcome to go look at the totality of my posts since 2009, or even just the totality of my posts today. I understand everybody is a little bit knee-jerky. Everybody is worried about who's a psyop and who's secretly there to sabotage the movement. Like, people are unable to access Occam's razor. And I just want to encourage you, Tap into Occam's razor. When you see something that looks weird, don't immediately jump to conspiracy theory thinking. I know that we're in a post-truth politics era. We're in an era where conspiracy theories are rampant in times of great social unrest, when people have a very reduced quality of life, when people are really stressed out. We tend to actually gravitate toward conspiracy theory thinking. Whether it's like Elon Musk Starlinked zapped the 2024 election results, whether it's knitting cult lady is a psyop, whether it's slightly democratic leaning content creators are being disappeared, whatever. People on the left, we are just as prone to conspiracy theory thinking as people on the right. Do not presume that you are immune because you are not on the political right. And we've all got to consciously make an effort to tap into Occam's razor and be like, okay, what makes logical sense here? Is somebody destroying their own brand that they have spent 15 years building, where they are consistent in all of their posting by sharing one MAGA post? Are they now suddenly outing themselves and pissing off their fan base, posting one thing that is inconsistent with everything else they've shared today and in the last several years and all of their real life activism? Or did they accidentally share this post, or maybe their account has been hacked? So anyway, just to watch people not message me or not tag me, but just immediately go full conspiracy theory on a very human moment where somebody accidentally reshared something. It's pretty fucking wild, y'all. Y'all are a little twitchy. That's not true. Most people were like, Angela, we knew something. I've done that too. I reshared something. I've accidentally DM'd somebody something. I've accidentally reshared a post. Everybody's had a human moment on social media. Most people were lovely, but damn, it was those 6 dudes and 1 woman. And that 1 woman came into my clarification post that was like, gal, this is what really happened. And she was just bam, 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 bam in the comments. There's no way this was accidental. This was on purpose. We know who she truly is. And I'm like, okay, no, you don't. You don't fucking know me. But I guess ultimately here, yeah, okay, I did block her. But I guess ultimately here, the thing for me is just, I understand we're all really stressed out and we're all really twitchy. We're all really worried, and the regime uses that kind of anxiety to put us in a paranoid state, to encourage us to be distrustful of each other, to lean into conspiracy theory thinking, to abandon our critical thinking, our good reasoning skills, and in general, our reasonableness as human beings. They want us panicky. And in fact, that's what I want to talk about more today is all of the law enforcement videos I've seen over the last couple of days of law enforcement, like straight up tweaking. They are completely out of control. They are the ones who are panicky. When we jump to conspiracy theory thinking, when we jump to extremes, when we abandon our rational thought, our reasonableness, our ability to regulate our emotions, and we immediately jump into panic, anxiety, we choose the illogic of conspiracy theories, the hyperbole of conspiracy over being grounded in reality. The regime can control us much more easily. I'm sorry to take this like tiny little post and go off on some big like existential thing, but I just see so much of it. I had somebody in my comments the other day on YouTube who was like, oh, David Pakman is interviewing Election Truth Alliance. And Angela, if you don't get with the program and start talking about these election conspiracies and how they're all real, then social media is going to leave you behind. All of the brave creators are talking about like Starlink zapping. No, y'all, no. First of all, I have already said my piece about Election Truth Alliance. I've already said my piece about all of the lawsuits that have been thoroughly debunked by election experts. I've already talked about the reality of how our elections are under threat from gerrymandering, from voter suppression, from intimidation tactics. That's why Donald Trump is trying to put troops in our cities. He wants to make it as hard as possible for people to vote. He wants to make it as hard as possible for people to feel empowered to show up and exercise their constitutional right to vote. There's no magic zapping of the ballots. There's no like a district that went 100% for Donald Trump in 2020 went 100% for Donald Trump in 2024, and that precinct of 526 voters, like that's magically proof that the election results were all switched. That's a conspiracy theory, and too many people on the left are giving money to that organization. Too many people on the left are focusing all of their energy. David Pakman platforming those folks shows to me that he has no credibility, even before the like, how do I even pronounce AIPAC? There are conspiracy theory grifters all over the internet. It's not just in right-wing spaces. There are people who earnestly want to believe conspiracy theories because the banality of the truth, y'all, it's not as sexy. It's not as sexy to know that it's just like straight up disenfranchising voters through classic racist techniques like gerrymandering versus Elon Musk secretly zapping the votes. That to them, that sounds cooler. And also, if you lean into these conspiracy theories, you don't have to actually do the thing that is required to prevent there being election tampering and voter suppression. Things like what Democracy Docket is doing, fighting in the courts, volunteering for campaigns, phone banking, doing get out the vote movements, working to fight against legislation in your state that is meant to disenfranchise voters. States that are trying to do away with mail-in voting, which is incredibly secure. Donald Trump votes by mail, by the way. All kinds of hinky shit where Republicans try to get duly cast ballots thrown out after the election. And then also being aware of the classic authoritarian techniques that Donald Trump is trying to engage in now, putting troops in our cities to make people afraid to vote, doing this like I'm going to put election supervisors in Virginia and New Jersey, California and New Jersey. That's an intimidation tactic. And then we also have to be aware that authoritarians always, if the election comes out against them or their people, they will try to claim that it was fraudulent. So we have to work to preserve the integrity of elections, and we have to have such a massive get out the vote movement that there is no way the results of the election can be questioned. Look at what happened in Serbia. If you want to understand how important it is, and in Chile as well, if you want to understand how important it is that we need a massive get out the vote movement. So I always try and take some real life thing and use it as an example of how we can further the cause. I always try and take something that seems like small or tangential and be like, here's the greater picture, right? So that's, I guess, what I'm doing in this video. Conspiracy theory thinking, y'all, not going to help us fight fascism. If you personally need to believe something wrong about me in order to feel okay, you can do that. But please think about the way that abandoning Occam's razor, abandoning rational thought, and leaning into conspiracy theory thinking and paranoia, that benefits the fascists. If you lean into the conspiracy theories, then you are distracted from the ways that we actually have to be fighting against the regime in order to defend democracy. By the way, there's an election this week all over the country. Here in Portland, please make sure that you are voting for the Parks levy. Super, super important. Our family will be voting today. Okay, now I'm going to film a bunch of stuff about ice.